Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuvannmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome all of you for the GITAMRITA BINDU session 8 question answers. Session 8 putting principle before penny. Let's see the questions. Here Rishikesh Panvel is asking from Panvel, how to awaken love for God and what are the ways to love God? Brilliant question, very nice. Actually, our love for God is in our heart like a red hot coal covered with ashes. Like that, when you blow off the ashes, the hot coal will manifest its heat, isn't it? Similarly, there are various ways prescribed in the scriptures to blow off the anarthas that are covering our love of God. The first thing is the chanting of Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we chant in the mala, Japa mala like this. There are 108 manis in this. In each mani, we chant one mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So chanting like this, the scriptures say that by uttering the mantra and hearing it attentively and prayerfully, oh Lord Krishna, please cleanse my heart, remove the covering over the love of God. So love of God can manifest. So that is one of the things you can do. Another thing you can do is to read Bhagavad-Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. Prabhupada has written more than 100 books, small books. You can read them regularly, and then the knowledge will gradually get enhanced more and more. Then you get a very good clarity in life about everything, about Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma, everything. Because more the clarity, the more faster you can proceed ahead. So Divya Jnana you have to cultivate. So read Prabhupada's books. After chanting, then read Prabhupada's books. And another very important thing is the food that you eat. Jaisa Anna, it is said, Jaisa Ahar. According to that, there is Vichar. According to that, there is, Prachar. Everything. All are connected. So whatever food goes inside, Ahar Shuddha, Sattva Shuddha, Druvasmati, Smriti Lambe Grantinam Vipramokshaha. It's a very famous statement. Prabhupada quotes it in Bhagavad-Gita purports. He says that if the food is offered to God, then that food turns into three things. One part of the food becomes stool and urine. Another part of the food becomes blood circulated all over the body. The third part it goes to the consciousness. If you eat prasadam, it will make your consciousness very divine. Then love of God will be awakened more faster. So try to, whatever is cooked at your home, try to offer it in front of the Lord, bow down, thank Him, chant Mahamantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. For the time being you do that. And then when you get a spiritual mentor, they will guide you how to offer the bhoga regularly. And that is one thing you can do, very easy thing. Offer to Lord and then eat the prasadam. Another thing you can do to awaken love of God fastly is birds of the same feather flock together. So keep a company of devotees. You are in Panvel. Panvel is not very far from Ravet or Nigdi. There is one temple there. If you come by train, or you can come straight to Pune in a local train and visit us at a New Vedic Cultural Center in Kathraj Kondwa. I am here only. That's my place where I stay. So in this way, you can connect with one of the programs. At least monthly once, monthly twice, you can visit. In this way, meeting devotees and taking darshan of the Lord, dancing with them, singing with them, and hearing the scriptures, associating with like-minded people who are all purely practicing. That makes you very strong. So in this way, our love of God can awaken more faster. And Also, we worship the deities, beautiful Radha Vandavachandra deities in Pune. So, seeing the deity form of the Lord, how he is decorated, how he is dressed, how he is worshipped, how he looks so beautiful, uh, and, uh, and also taking part in Harinama Sankirtan. We go in the streets distributing holy name to the people. In this way, these are some of the ways. And after you do all these things, when you are very inspired, then you can do some seva also. You can wash the parts of the Lord. You can sweep the floor in the temple. You can also go with devotees to distribute books or do Harinam, rendering seva. All these things gradually will increase your Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Next question by Ramya Sarla from Cincinnati, Ohio. There are few sentiments that run in my mind which cause fearfulness of God. How to actually visualize God to be? How to visualize God? That is said in Bhagavad-Gita itself. Krishna says, Kavim Puranam Manushasitaram Anoraniyam Samanusmaretya Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. Is telling, you want to know how God looks like? He says, Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. God exists beyond the darkness of this world. And his body is always glowing like golden, shine. Aditya Varnam. And who is he? He is Kavim, most learned personality. Puranam is the oldest, and he expands himself as Narayana, who is the oldest personality, because it is said in the Narayana Upanishad. It is said, Eko Havai Narayana Asin, na Brahma, na Ishano, na Chandro, na Nakshatrani, na Prithvi, na Apo. Either it says, at the dawn of creation, the Supreme Lord Narayana existed. At that time, there was no earth, no nakshatra, no sun, no moon, no stars, nothing. And then it says, Narayanat Brahma Jayate, Narayanat Prajapati Prajayate, Narayanat Indro Jayate, Narayanat Ashtau Vasavo Jayante, Narayanat Ekadasha Rudraha, Narayanat Dvadasha Adityaha. So in this way it says, Narayanat Brahma Jayate means all others, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Adityas, Rudras, everybody came from him. So in the dawn of creation, only he alone existed. And Krishna is called Adi Narayana by Bhishma Pitama. So Krishna, when he wants to create the universes, he expands himself as Narayana. And that Narayana is also called Mahavishnu. From the pores of his body, he creates millions of universes which expand. So he is called as Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayak. So when you want to think of God, you can think like that. Oh, God is so great. What a powerful world he has created. The sun, it is 16,000 miles in 1 second it is moving. The sun, according to scientists. It is 93,000 million miles away from the earth. And how precisely it's moving, it's rising in the morning, setting in the evening. So powerful. So who has put the sun and running it? So the Prakriti is functioning so powerfully. It is exactly like the signal you see on the road, red signal, green signal. When red signal comes, you stop. Green signal, you move your car. But signal is being operated by a police, and the police is under the government. Similarly, all these natural phenomena are operated by the Devatas, and the Devatas are under Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Yes, Yagyaya Pramati Sambrita Kala Chakro. By Krishna's Agnya, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The sun is moving and everything. So in this way, you can see that Lord Krishna is very playful, sportive, very kind Lord in the Goloka Vrindavana, playing with cows and calves and covered boyfriends and gopis and everybody. But when he wants to create, he expands as Narayana, like this, who is very wise. He is the oldest, Puranam. Anushasitaram is the controller of the universe. Anoraniyamsam is also present in every atom as a super soul. Sarvasya Dhataram is able to hold millions of planets in orbits. When our aeroplane flies in the sky, petrol is over, it comes down. Whereas you see Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, all big, big planets are floating for millions of years. Even the sun itself, it has inexhaustible light. And the planets are so precise. Up to the third decimal, you can know their movement. Even Panchangas are made based on the times. So precisely Lord is running it. So, Achintya Rupam, still Lord is inconceivable. We can't see him with our naked eyes. Many times people say, why can't you show me God? Very proudly people ask. But ask yourself, in the daytime you can't see anything without the help of the sun. In the night time you cannot see anything without the help of electric bulb. That means our eyes are not independent in seeing, they are dependent. Why are they dependent? Because they are defective eyes. But still man is very proud of defective eyes. Although eyes are defective, man says, show me God. Actually, if you want to speak of God, you can't see anything in this world without taking help of sunlight or lamp or something like that. So, but God's eyes are not like that. God's eyes are perfect. Like the sun you see, like we see the sun rising in the morning and setting in the night, correct, no? At night we go to sleep, but sun doesn't sleep. Because throughout the globe it keeps going like this. It's all the time awake. There's no sleeping time for the sun. Can you imagine? Continuously it's going, and it is emanating so much heat and light. So in this way one can see from the God's energies. He's a very great person, very wonderful person. So we can visualize God in both forms, His greatness and His sweetness. When you think of, first you understand His greatness and develop respect for Him. And then with that respect you approach Krishna, then you will develop sweetness. Such a great God is becoming a Bhakta Vatsala Govinda, is Partha Sarathi, riding the chariot of his own devotee Arjuna. And he's becoming a child in the lap of Yashoda. Then the sweetness of the Lord will be very touching to our hearts. Also there are rituals which people see them as sentiments. Example, death rituals, where if we don't do this, something bad is going to happen again. How to get rid of such sentiments? There are many man-made sentiments based on past events. I sometimes really don't understand which is actually a ritual and which is a sentiment. Actually, we have an Antyeshti article we have uploaded. We uploaded, no? In which session it's uploaded? I gave one PDF file. Okay. For this session, I will upload it today. We will upload it for you. It's an Antyeshti PDF. After a person's death, scientifically what all happens is mentioned. So it's about maybe 10-20 pages. You can read that. You will understand it. All the rituals we do, why do we do what we do, is all explained. Similarly, the sanskaras, 40 sanskaras, out of which 16 are prominent. They are all very thoroughly explained in Shastra. Vedas are 1 lakh verses. And the translations are all available now. Nothing in Vedas is a blind sentiment. Everything is having reason for it. Actually, scientists had many blind things. For example, they thought that all stool is bad. But then they didn't know that gobar, the stool of a cow, is very sacred and it is very antiseptic. Later on they found out. They never knew that plants have life. Only recently when Jagdishindra was proved, they understood. Whereas Vedas talk about plants having life millions of years ago. So there is nothing blind sentiment in the Vedas. But there are people who don't follow the Vedas and they have many blind superstitions. That is not Vedas' problem, that is their problem. Their own problem. So how can you know what is man-made, what is God-made? Study the scriptures, study Prabhupada's books, ask the Vaishnava devotees, you are telling me to do these things, where is it mentioned? So they will clarify. You tell me any specific ritual and ask me, Prabhu, is it authorized in Vedas or not? Then I can tell you. Yeah. Here is Ajay, Prabhu is asking from Jaipur. Why Krishna as father designed the Dukhalayam for us as his children? Is it necessary to have pain in life? Can't we realize God when everything is going good? Why suffering is the only way? दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई, सुख में सुमिरन जो करे, दुख काय को होय. You heard this saying? You are saying that, if you can realize God even when everything is going good for you, then there is no suffering for you. That's what this song says, isn't it? Actually, you are saying this world is a place of suffering. It is true for those who have turned away from God. If you have again turned back to God, then there is no more a place of suffering. Like, for example, devotees of Krishna, they eat the finest of the foods, purest of the foods. Karma-free diet they are eating, offered to Krishna. You come to ISKCON temples and see what type of prasadam is served. You can come and see. Outside people have never eaten like this. Similarly, you see the culture they have. They bow down to each other, offering obeisances. They respect each other. They honor each other. They appreciate and they have very fine exchanges with one another. They have deep respect for each other. The dealings, I am telling you. And similarly, for their intelligence, you see the scriptures like Gita, Bhagavatam, they are reading. Best of the scriptures they are reading, and they are getting the doors of spiritual world open for them to go back to Godhead by studying the scriptures. They are eating finest of the food. They dress, fresh dress every day after taking a bath. We never wear any dress, without washing for the second time. Every day we wear a fresh dress. We eat fresh prasad, hot prasad 3 times a day. What is served to Krishna, the remnants of the Lord. We have very good friendships. We have respectful friendships, and we have wonderful engagements, chanting, dancing, distributing books, doing Harinam Sankirtan. You can see devotees are very happy. Those who are not devotees, yes, I agree with you. They are very unhappy, unfortunately, because they have not yet discovered the truth, due to which they are eating all kinds of meat and drinking wine and, having promiscuous relationships with members of opposite sex, and sometimes indulging in murder, sometimes indulging in suicide. Yes, actually, we want to also make them fortunate by taking to Krishna consciousness. Prabhuji, this is a personal question. Why did you, being a professional, came into Krishna consciousness? You could have built your career in MNCs. What really motivated you to pursue the path of bhakti? Yes, I very much wanted to build my career as a brahmachari when I was a third standard boy. That's the career which I considered most ambitious. When I was walking to my school, there was one Gurukula where I heard the recitation. Hare Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanam Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is the first Vedic vibration I heard. My hair stood on end, my body trembled actually. My Lord, this Vedic sound is so sweet. Recitation of the Sanskrit mantras. Instead of going to my school, I went to this school, Gurukul. Met the Gurukul sir, one Brahmana. Then I asked him, sir, can I sit? He allowed me to sit for some time. Then afterwards, in the interval period, he asked me, who are you? Then I told him that my father has put me in that school. I am very impressed with this school. I also want to shave my head and keep a shika and join these children. I also want to be a Gurukul boy here. He said, oh, you can, but you have to come with your parents. We can't take you just like that. Go and tell your father, he said. So I returned home and told my father. My father wasn't ready. He said, what are you talking? You are a millionaire's son. We have so much property and everything. Left poor Brahmana boys go there. So I said, I'm also born in a Brahmana family. Why didn't you send me? I asked him. He said, no. He said, I will arrange those teachers to come to home and teach you. Like that, he said. My father was a good man. Not only he called some teachers to teach me these things, he also gave me any spiritual book I wanted to purchase. Again, in my 7th standard, I had read some spiritual organizations books. I told my father. In my 5th standard also, I told the teachers that I would like to be a brahmachari and preach. So this is not a new thing for me. I was always thinking that it's very wonderful to be with God and do some God's activities. I was very, very fond of temples in my native place also. I had a group of 20-25 students. We were all friends together. We would discuss from Aurobindo and Vivekananda, Ramakrishna, Paramahamsa, and also Chinmaya mission books, and also Shivananda, all these different books. So each of us will be presenting in every meeting. So we used to have discussion, even in our sound standard also. So we all had one common question. What is this lust, anger and greed? Why is it tormenting us? How can we rise above it? Why this pressure we feel from inside? So these kind of questions we had. And who is God? When you look at the sky with stars and moon and everything, we become curious. Who created this world? Where is that God? Can we access him? Is he personal or impersonal? So we used to have long discussions on all these things. So 7th standard, I tried to leave home. My father told me that don't be foolish. Become a doctor or engineer and be a qualified man. And then by the time your age would be grown up enough to make a decision in life, he said. Anyway, when I grew up, I finished my engineering, BTech, MTech, both I finished. And then I told my father, I'm going to different mathas, different organizations, I'm searching. So when I went to ISKCON, I saw ISKCON as the best organization, because here I found that they are not going to Himalayas to do meditation or something. Here with our eyes we can see the beautiful deities. With our ears we can hear lectures and hear kirtans. With our mouth we can eat prasadam and chant Hare Krishna. With our legs we can go to temple. We can dance in the kirtan. I found that this movement is very practical movement for even the people living in the cities also. Anybody can take part in dancing, singing, and Prabhupada's books are also lucid, easy to understand. So engaging our senses in Lord service, I loved it very much. Second thing, I also found this principle of Yukta Vairagya, which means like I'm using a sound system, I'm using a laptop, we may fly in planes also. We don't mind accepting anything for Krishna's service. We will not use anything for our own enjoyment, but for Krishna's service we'll use. It's called Yukta Vairagya principle. So this is another thing I liked very much in this organization. Like, some certain people actually walk barefoot long distances. But here we don't artificially take austerities. We use everything in Lord service. So by doing that, you will not be entangled by that. And also another thing I liked very much is ISKCON is a preaching organization. Prabhupada wants us to distribute his books and wants us to go out and meet the suffering people and tell them about Krishna, which I really loved very much, because I don't want to go to Himalayas for my own moksha. So when I saw all these things, when I completed my MTech in IIT Bombay, I was thinking that I can just join. I was about to go to University of Orlando, Central Florida for my doctorate, and my guide told me that 4 years you have to do doctorate, and you have to give a commitment of 4 more years of job there in Orlando, total of 8 years, and we'll give you $50,000. He had signed it without even asking me. My my guide. Later on, he told my guide, "Sorry, I want to work in India for a couple of years, and I am planning to dedicate my life to ISKCON." He was like shocked. He said, "Why I'm sending you abroad?" Because he wanted to, as his student, he wanted to send me abroad. But actually, I found this even more interesting and more challenging, because 1994 I joined ISKCON, and I thought that I have wasted my 25 years of my life. If only I knew about ISKCON when I was a 5-year-old, 10-year-old boy, I would have done 15 more years. So then 1995 I was sent to Pune. Since 95 I'm in Pune only. So we have 24/7 engagement for us. We get up early in the morning at 2:33. We get up. Night we sleep at 8:30 to 9. In that range we sleep. 6 hours we sleep. Rest of the day is very busy. Just like I'm talking to you now, answering the questions or speaking the lectures in the evening, and preparing PowerPoints, and also reaching out books to nook and corner of the city, doing Harinam Sankirtanams, and we have beautiful deities in the temple. Lord is worshipped with 6 times offerings. Very, very. So the life is like being in spiritual world practically at every moment. So my motivation is, I thought that why to be stuck up in a small family of 5-6 members? Why not make myself a family member of all the people of the world? Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam. Let sky be the roof of my house. Let all the people be my relatives. Let Krishna be Krishna is the father of all creatures anyway. So I really loved being a preacher, practitioner and a preacher of Bhagavad-Gita. Okay, another question here. Why did Krishna in Bhagavad-Gita, after telling all kind of yogas to Arjun, ask him in the end to forget or abandon all the varieties of yoga and surrender to him alone? What does the real surrender mean? Good question. In the 8th chapter, Krishna was telling the yogi has to leave the body in the daylight, not in the night. If he leaves in the night, he'll come back. If he leaves in the day, he will get liberated. And he also told Arjuna that the yogi has to leave the body in Uttarayan, not Dakshinayan. Uttarayan means January to July. Dakshinayan means August to December. Imagine if somebody dies in August to December, he has to come back again. So Arjuna got frightened hearing all this. Krishna, how can I make sure I die only between July to December? January to June. And how it will be that I will be die in the daytime only, not in the night time? Krishna said, that's not for you, that's for yogi fellows. Ashtanga yogis. For you, Arjuna, he said, I am there. You just surrender to me. I am like your mother and father for you. I will take you back. Vedeshu yajneshu tapasu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva Yogim param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Like the Krishna said, my dear Arjun, you are my bhakta, you are obedient to my words. Whatever the Vedeshu means, by studying Vedas, by doing yajna, by doing tapasya, by giving charity, daneshu, all that punya phalam padishtam will come to you as a devotee. You don't need to do anything separately. You just be my devotee and align by my order. Your life will be perfect. It's like mother and father telling, "Beta, you don't worry. We will take you." Like if the son is saying, "Should I go now?" There's a small kid is saying, "Should I go to the airport and find out the plane? You know, should I book a flight ticket?" Is asking. Small kid, 5-year-old kid is asking. What parents are saying, "Beta, don't worry. You just sit in the car. We will take you. You do what we are telling you, and we will arrange your flight and everything. You are a small baby. What will you do?" It's like that. Krishna is telling, if you surrender to me and become my devotee, I will take care of your, A to Z, everything I'll take care. So kind Krishna is, you know, uh, we don't have to worry. Like if you are doing mantra ucharan like karma kandi, one small mistake in Sanskrit you do, the whole meaning will change. Indra Shatro, like that when one Brahmana pronounced, instead of getting a person to kill Indra, one child was born who was killed by Indra. The opposite result was experienced because of one small mistake in Sanskrit. This is what happens in Karma Kanda sacrifices, Jnana Kanda, Yoga Kanda and all. But in Bhakti, as Krishna says, you surrender to Krishna. Krishna is a Bhavagrahi. He says, and you asked also, what is Sharanagati? Very, very simple. The first aspect of Sharanagati is to accept what Lord Krishna says and follow it in our life. That's the first thing. Then there are 6 aspects of surrender. Anukulyatsa sankalpa pratikulyatsa varjanam rakshasyati iti vishwaso gopatritve varanam tata atmanikshepakar shadivida sharanagati. It says that anukulyatsa sankalpa is saying, which means you should accept what Krishna says, favorable for your Krishna consciousness, no matter how painful it is. Like we are taught, sleep early, rise early, chant 16 rounds Hare Krishna every day. Even if it is painful, you have to accept it because it's favorable. And patikulya sabarjana means even if something is very pleasurable, but you have to give up. Krishna says, you give it up. You cannot, like for example, in South India, people drink coffee, So if you tell them to give up coffee, they will cry. But if you want to attain Krishna, you have to give up what is not favorable. Rakshasyati iti vishwaso. You should have firm faith that Krishna is watching me and protecting me at every moment. Goptratve varanam tata. He is my maintainer. He is the one who gives me grains, rains, fruits, cereals, spices, and the medical herbs and everything. He is the one giving. He is my maintainer. Nobody else can maintain. Our salary is not our maintenance because many people have a fat salary, but they are not eating good food. Good food actually is given to those whom Krishna ordains it. They only will get it. So, Goptatve, Varnantata, Atmanikshepa. We should cultivate a mood of self-surrender. Actually, which means what? God is great. I am small. Like if I am a doctor, what mood I should cultivate? We treat, God heals. Like that good doctors say, like that. We treat, God heals. And Karpanya means humility. Only the meek and humble can inherit the kingdom of God, it is said. So in this way, these are all principles of Sharanagati. And surrendering to Krishna, Mamekam Sharanam Braja actually means just stay with devotees, read the spiritual books, take prasadam, chant and dance with devotees, adopt this simple process, and study the Shastra and gradually increase your understanding and faith in Krishna. That's it. Okay. Probably in the material world, there are different requirements and dynamics as opposed to spirituality. So how relevant is bhakti in modern times where everyone talks about science and technology and research and development? Yeah. Actually, just because they are talking about science, technology, and development doesn't make them very great. What are they doing with all this technology research? They can't control the senses. They can't control their mind. Man is chasing after opposite sex as he was chasing million years ago. There's no difference. And they are eating they are eating in star hotels and sleeping in Dunlopillow bed and mating in a costly, very big skyscraper building. and defending with scuds and missiles doesn't make them any better than animals. Such human beings are just like deluxe version of animals, we can say. Actually, what makes human beings superior to animals is man can control his mind and senses. Man can inquire about life and death. Man can inquire about who is God who created this creation. Man can actually look before he leaps. That means man can actually not become a slave of his lower passions, like for example, anger, or like we say, Vacha Vegam, Manasa Vegam, Krodha Vegam, Jihva Vegam, Udara Vegam, Pasta Vegam. Man can conquer all these things. If man doesn't conquer all these things, then how is he better than animals? Just because technology and science has become advanced doesn't make him any great. Prabhupada said the dog is running on 4 legs, your car is running on 4 wheels. What progress have you made? He said it's a dog's jumping progress. He said the real progress means, have you controlled your mind and senses? Have you purified your mind? Have you sharpened your intelligence? Have you understood why you are suffering in this world? What is the cause of suffering? Do you know what is the ultimate goal of life? Everybody in this world is dying and their bodies are burned into ashes in crematorium. Why man is dying? Why is he getting old? Why does he get diseases? Why is he born? What is Atma? What is body? If you don't understand all this knowledge, then it is just life is simply a waste. So, next question. How do we know or assess ourselves that we are progressing rightly on the path of spiritual advancement? What are the checkpoints, if you could recommend? Yeah. Actually, first of all, you need a mentor who is guiding you, spiritual guardian. Make sure you have one. If you want one, you can write to us, voicemedia.pune at gmail.com. voicemedia.pune at gmail.com. Also, if you go to live.radheshyamdas.com, if you go there, there's a request for a mentor. You can click there and accept a mentor if you want. And in case you are able to get a mentor locally, Jaipur also, there's a beautiful temple. ISKCON temple is there. You can go there and request for a mentor to guide you. That makes most of your problems solved. And in case you have a guardian who is guiding you, then when you're walking the spiritual path, you should ask, am I rising in the morning and I'm chanting Hare Krishna? Am I reading the spiritual books? Am I taking prasad? Where is my mind going? What are my activities? Am I following 4 regulative principles? I don't know how many rounds you are chanting. In case you are chanting 8 rounds or 10 rounds or 16 rounds, then you are supposed to know the 4 principles which you have to avoid: meditating, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and all that. So you checklist means these are the checkpoints. Am I chanting? Am I following the 4 regulative principles? Am I rising in the morning? Am I coming to temple for darshan? Am I associating with devotees? Am I reading Prabhupada books? Am I keeping away from temptations of Maya? Am I avoiding offenses to devotees? So these are the checkpoints. And if you are doing all these things, then the result of doing the things rightly is 3 things will come. Just like when you are hungry, you put the food in the mouth, the tongue starts feeling taste. When the food goes down, the belly starts feeling satisfaction. When the food is digested, you get energy, strength you get. Similarly, in bhakti also, when you are practicing, first thing that comes is taste. You love to dance and kirtan, you love to sing, you love to take darshan of the deities, you love to meet devotees, you love to take prasadam. In this way, you enjoy spiritual life, you relish it. And secondly, you feel satisfaction. You are no more attracted to movies or party or meditating, old friends. You are not attracted to mundane novels or mundane serials in TV and all that. You lose taste for them completely. You are not eating meat, drinking wine, anything. So you get rid of them because the satisfaction has come, like the food going to belly. Third strength is what? You can't keep this knowledge with yourself. You will want to preach to others. You will go and tell your friends, hey, please come to our temple, see how wonderful this path is. So these are symptoms. Okay, Dhruvin Soni from Ahmedabad, Bhivaskar is asking, Artha Shastra, Dharma Shastra, Parodharma Shastra, can you please explain a little bit? Oh yes, I'll explain it in a very simple fashion. See, 6 kinds of aggressors should be killed, correct now? That according to Artha Shastra, if anybody does even one of these 6, you have the right to kill them. For example, somebody is putting fire to your house. somebody is feeding you poison, somebody is raping one's wife, or somebody has stolen your land and driven you away from that place, like that. Like the 6 things are there. If anybody does like that, you can violently wage a war against him and fight with him. You have the right, according to Arthashastra. But according to Dharma Shastra says that even if your brother does such a thing, it is better for you not to attack him or kill him. After all, your brother, you can forgive him. Dharma Shastra talks about forgiveness, whereas Arthashastra talks about taking action. And that's what happened in the Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna thought if somebody else had stolen Sita, you know, I would have attacked him or warned him or something. But my brother, how can I tell him strongly? So Kumbhakarna became a little soft-natured. And so according to Dharma Shastra, it says that relatives means you should be willing to bend, even though they may commit mistakes sometimes. One example I'll tell you. There was one brother and sister. The father became very old and he wrote a will and he died. And the property was equally to be divided between sister and brother. But the brother was taking 80% of the property and 20% he was giving to sister. He said, anyway, I am son, so I will take 80, you take 20. The sister was repeatedly saying, no, father has written in the will, you should give me 50, you should take 50. He was not listening. So she said, if you are not going to give me, I am going to go to court. He thought she's just joking, but she went to court. And the brother and sister were standing in the opposite sides. Later on, he was put behind the bars or something for doing some blunders. When he came back from the jail and he had to give her the 50% property, he didn't talk to her for 3-4 years because he became very angry with his sister. What have you done? After all, I'm your brother. How can you put me behind the bars for some time? Not for a long time, short time only, but he couldn't take it. So generally, brother and sister, even if they do mistakes, sometimes you forgive. From Dharma Shastra point of view. Same way, our Kumbhakarna forgave, like that. So, Arjuna also wanted to forgive the Atatais, 6 type of aggressors. He told Krishna that from Arthashastra point of view, what you are saying is correct. Arthashastra's political science says that if any guy does these 6 things, kill him. Whereas I am not seeing them like any guy. They are my relatives. So from Dharma Shastra point, I feel that dharmic fellow means you should be sympathetic and forgiving, like that he said. But Parodharma Shastra means what? And the word para means Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when Lord says something, you don't bother about it, you just do it, that's all. That is Parodharma. For example, I'll ask you a simple question. Dhruvin Soni, say you're working in a company. Your boss tells you that this year you have exhausted all the holidays. I can't give you any more leave. But then you did one breakthrough in your technology, which brought some 5 crores to your company. And your company owner is very pleased with you. He's calling you to his room, come here. And he's taking out, 10 lakh rupees and giving you, putting in your hand. You ask him, sir, what is this? What is this check? Big amount. He says, no, you have brought 5 crores to a company now through this new technology development that you have done. So I'm giving you 10 lakh rupees and I'm giving you 3 months leave from the company. Go with your family, have great fun, nice time, and come after 3 months. So will you take leave or not? The owner is much bigger fellow than your department head. The department head cannot stop you. When you're going, you can go to department head and tell him, sir, our owner has given me 10 lakh and he has given me 3 months leave. Bye-bye. I'll come back and join you. Like that you can say, and you have the freedom to go because a bigger man has given you sanction. Is it not? Parodharma is like that. When God says there is nobody equal to God, there is nobody greater than him, and nobody can stop him. God can change your destiny also. Krishna blocked the sun and saved the life of Arjuna. Is it not true? So here Arjuna is being told by Krishna directly, and that is Parodharma. Same thing with Vibhishan, for example. From Arthashastra point of view, Ravana did such a big blunder of bringing the mother of the universe there. So he deserves to be killed. But of course, brother did not kill, somebody else will kill. Now Vibhishan went to Ravana and said, she is Jagat Janani. She is the mother of the whole universe. You are bringing her here, it's very, very bad. Please give her back to Ram and everything. So, but he didn't agree. So from a Dharma Shastra point of view, He thought, our Vibhishan also, yes, he is my brother, I should be forgiving. But which things to forgive? Is it a forgivable thing? And that he is breaking Mother Sita, Mother of the universe, and torturing her here like anything? Vinashakale Viparita Buddhi. I won't stay with this fellow anymore. So he left him and he adopted Parodharma, surrender to Lord Krishna, surrender to Lord Rama. So that is actually called Parodharma. Parodharma means, there is one verse also which says, Savaipam sam parodharmo yatho bhakti radhokshaje ahaitukya pratihata ayatmasu prasidati. Great souls like Prahalad, Ambrish Maharaj, Pandavas, they all adopted Parodharma, which means they would only do what Lord Krishna wanted them to do. They were simply like play toys in Lord's hands. That is Parodharma. Okay, and then Subrat Raukela is asking, please explain who are the sages Nara and Narayana. I once read somewhere that Krishna and Arjuna are reincarnations of sages Nara and Narayana. Is this correct? How can Supreme Lord be a reincarnation? No. Krishna is the original. Arjuna is his eternal friend. And Krishna expands in various forms. Krishna and Arjuna, like, Krishna and Arjuna become Nara and Narayana. So the Krishna becomes Narayana and Arjuna becomes Nara for performing austerities. When once Narada requested Lord to set an example for the world, so then Lord went to Badrikashrama and he took Arjuna also with him. And he told Arjuna, you be Nara and I'll be Narayana. We both will do austerities here. Lord loves to take his devotees with him. So he did that. Otherwise, Krishna expands in various forms. When Krishna expands as Rama, Balaram becomes Lakshman. When Krishna expands as Narayana, Balaram becomes Anantashesha. In this way, Krishna has thousands of incarnations, but he is the original. Like you take one candle and lit many candles. But all the other candles or all the other lamps come from one lamp, and that one lamp is Krishna. Like that. Okay. Akriti Mataji from Ludhiana, Punjab is asking a question. There is also another devotee, Damodaran Prabhu from Madurai. He also had asked the same question. Why Lord Krishna told Bhagavad-Gita only to Arjuna and not to other 4 Pandavas, as they were also pure devotees of Lord Krishna? Good question. Actually, Krishna saw that Yudhishthira Maharaj is elder to me, and he treated him as an elder brother, cousin brother. So he was very, very respectful. So whenever Krishna met the Pandavas, when he would see Yudhishthira Maharaj, he would offer obeisances to him. When he would meet Arjuna, he would clasp his hands and embrace him. And when he would see Nakul Sahadev would, Bhima and Nakul Sahadev, they would offer obeisances to Krishna. So this is actually the kind of relationship Krishna had with all the Pandavas. So therefore, Krishna felt it's not appropriate for him to instruct Yudhishthira. Another reason why he didn't choose Yudhishthira Maharaj is Yudhishthira Maharaj, even in the beginning of the war, he wanted only 5 villages. And he even said, if they don't give 5 villages, we'll go to forest again. He was like that. So he was very soft-natured, and Krishna thought it wouldn't work for him. And also Bhima, he was very aggressive in nature. Bhima was aggressive, Yudhishthira Maharaj was passive. Arjuna was assertive. Was midway. He was polite and firm, courageous and considerate, bold and sensitive. That's what is a leader actually. Arjuna was like that. Plus, Arjuna is also very intimate, heart-to-heart friend of Krishna. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahashyam heraduttamam. Krishna says that, Arjuna, you are my friend, you are my bhakta devotee. Therefore, I chose you to give you. Because amongst all the 5 Pandavas, the most intimate, equal friend of Krishna is Arjuna. So Krishna, therefore, he chose him. Yeah. And then second question, why Akriti from Ludhiana has written 3 more questions. Why Pandavas went to hell despite of the fact that Lord Krishna assures forgiving all sins on his devotees? Similar is the case with Sudama, who was a pure devotee of Krishna but still had to bear the sins. No. These people didn't go into hell. They passed through the hell. Actually, not only Pandavas, even we all also. Whoever has taken birth in the world, even Duryodhana also, first everybody goes to hell, the door of the hell, for a short moment. Then from there, one will go to heaven. Even Duryodhana, Pandavas, they all went to heaven. From heaven, they all went to spiritual world. Because they are all like characters whom Krishna has personally brought down in this world along with him. So eventually they all went back to Godhead. Life and death are inevitable. Then how can Lord interfere in this process by giving life to Parikshit when he was killed by Ashwatthama's Brahmastra? Yeah, good question. This goes to show that God is God. That means he can make a law and he can break the law also if he wants. For example, are you aware that in our country, the chief minister, prime minister and all they have a bulb above their car. It makes sounds. And they can, if there is a one way in particular road, they can come in the opposite side also. You know that? Similarly, even when there is a red signal, traffic signal put up, nobody can go, but their car can go. That freedom is there even for ministers, big fellows. Then what about Lord Krishna? Does he not have the freedom? So, therefore, Lord actually wants to show when it comes to protecting his devotee, no karmic law or no destiny, taqdeer can act. Lord can surpass everything. And he protects his devotees. Why King Yudhishthira didn't quit gambling even on losing all he had to Duryodhana? Why he kept on playing knowing that he can quit any time? Yeah. Actually, if you read the Mahabharata, you will know when Pandavas were once called by Dhritarashtra, the elder is calling, uncle is calling, they can't say no, so they came. And he, after giving them a meal, after they ate, he told them that now opposite our bungalow, opposite our palace, we have made one bungalow for all of you children to play. You can please go there and have nice fun. So then Yudhishthira and Pandavas went there, Kauravas were there, Shakuni and Duryodhana, they came forward. They called Yudhishthira. They said, can we play gambling match? Immediately Yudhishthira said, gambling is the root of all misery. Why are we planning to play gambling? They said, no, we have ample of time today. We thought we'll have some fun. And Yudhishthira asked, are we going to play without any, keeping any money? Then immediately Shakuni laughed and said, are we children that we play without keeping any money? At least we should start with 100 gold coins, he said. Then Yudhishthira became a little worried. I also wanted to know who will play with me. Is it Duryodhana or anybody else? Shakuni came forward and put the dice and said, I'll be playing on behalf of Duryodhana, he said. Immediately Yudhishthira folded the palms and said, my dear uncle, please don't take away the wealth that I have saved for the service of the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Please don't take away that wealth. Shakuni said, no, Yudhishthira, why do you think you will lose all the wealth? In fact, you may gain even our wealth also. He said, let's make a beginning. Let's start with 100 coins and then go to 1,000 coins, like that he said. Then they started the game, putting this thing. So 2 lessons we have to learn here. When we play gambling, we will gradually be dragged into it. And that is from a material point of view. That's what happened to Yudhishthira. He went on getting dragged more and more. He was very fond of playing. And then in the course of playing, he lost to the point. Practically, he lost everything. Another lesson we can know is Lord Krishna in this world is coming and enacting this great Mahabharata war. So in this Mahabharata war, he wants to have Dharma on one side, Adharma on the other side. And he wants to enact this war and destroy the Adharma, establish Dharma. So he impels his pure devotees to act in certain ways. So we can know that Yudhishthira Maharaj actually was inspired from within by the Lord to play this game. Otherwise, he has no track record of doing anything bad like this in the past. He always has 99.99% track record of being dharmic completely. This is the first time you hear. So Lord Krishna inspired him in the heart to play this game so that the Pandavas will lose everything. They'll go to forest and Lord Krishna will go to meet them in the forest and they will have nice time. After 12 years, the war will take place. Then he will be made the king of the world. That's Lord's plan. So Lord made, just like we have a toy, which we give key and the toy dances like that. Like that, Krishna makes his pure devotees dance according to his plans. And the plans are a larger plan, Lord only knows. Akriti has asked more questions here. What will happen to material world if all souls go back to spiritual world? Wonderful. It's like asking him in the jail, if all the thieves become good gentlemen, what will happen? Jail can be closed down. Lord will close in the material world, then all of us can be back to Godhead and chanting, dancing, taking prasad, no old age, no disease, no death, then happy ever after. That's very nice. Can 33 crore demigods also go back to Lord Krishna's land? What is the difference between Vaikuntha and Saket Dham and Vrindavan? Yeah, actually 33 crore devatas are all good souls who have been given the administrative roles in this material world for their past punya. And it depends on if they become pure devotees, they'll go back. Otherwise, they will take some more lifetimes. And Vaikuntha is headed by Narayana, and Sakyadam is headed by Lord Rama, Sitaram, and Lakshmana and Sitaram, and Vrindavan is headed by Radha Krishna. Those are the presiding deities in these three places. There are many differences. In Saket and Vaikuntha, very reverential worship for the Lord, respectful worship. Whereas in Vrindavana, Krishna and devotees, Krishna doesn't play God in Vrindavan. He's like equal friend to the Gopas. He's a lover of the gopis. He's the son of Yashoda and Nanda. And cows, calves are very, very fond of him. Peacocks and cuckoos and monkeys. It's a very playful, joyful place, Vrindavan. And where Krishna is playing a role of being equal with all his friends. Wonderful place it is. So we all can go back to the respective abode to whom we are connected to by chanting Hare Krishna and practicing regularly. What is the difference between in being a gopi of Lord Krishna and a consort of Lord Krishna? Gopis live in Vrindavan while 608 wives of Lord Krishna live in Dwaraka. Is Dwaraka a separate lok for wives of Krishna? Yeah, actually Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwaraka, these are all part of the abode of Krishna. They're all actually everything is put together is called Vaikuntha planets, we call it. But there is separate Dwaraka and Vrindavan. Vrindavan, the gopis are all lovers of Krishna, lovers. Whereas in Dwaraka, they are all wives of Krishna. So they are like in a queen's bhava. They are in a mood of a queen. Whereas in Vrindavan, they are in the mood of a lover, gopis. Yeah, and yes, in Dwaraka, the relationship is like Vaikuntha type of relationship, reverential. Whereas in Vrindavan, it's very jovial and very friendly relationship. Yeah. Did Manthara go to hell for sin of conspiring against Lord Rama? Actually, all the characters in Ramayana or Mahabharata will go back to spiritual world because they have been brought by the Lord to enact the pastimes. After that, Lord will wind up everything and take them all back. ईशिता गांधी कानपुर से पूछ रही है, मेरे पिता का करुणा काल में स्वर्गवास हो गया था। हमें ये लगता है कि हमारी लापरवाही रही है और उनका उचित इलाज ना हो सका और हमने देर कर दी। परंतु आपने मेरे पिछले प्रश्न में मुझे बताया कि इंसान की मृत्यु तिथि उसके जन्म से पहले ही निश्चित होती है। तो मेरा प्रश्न यह है कि क्या इंसान द्वारा अनजाने में हुई लापरवाही के कारण ऐसा होता है या फिर जो होना होता है उसके हिसाब से चीज़ें अपने आप बनती चली जाती है और हम खुद को कोसते रह जाते हैं। समझ गया मैं। देखिए, एक चीज़ है दुनिया में, एक इंसान की जान को बचा रखना डॉक्टर के पास हाथ में भी नहीं है, हमारे हाथ में भी नहीं है। हमारी ओर से जो करना हो उतना ही कर सकते हैं। तो मुंबई में एक व्यक्ति था, उसने अपनी पत्नी को एक प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट की थी, बहुत महंगे हॉस्पिटल में, लेकिन उनकी पत्नी को पसंद नहीं था वो हॉस्पिटल, उसको गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में चाहिए था, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में उसके एक फ्रेंड थी डॉक्टर, वो बोली कि आप मुझे उधर एडमिट करो, मेरे फ्रेंड है उधर। वो बोला नहीं, गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल कितना कचरा है, गंदा है उधर, इधर तुम्हारे लिए प्राइवेट रूम है, बहुत अच्छा अस्पताल करके उसने प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट की और उनकी बीवी मर गई उधर। ये हुआ बहुत 15 साल के पहले, वो बीवी मर गई थी उधर। और ये ऑफिसर इतना रो पड़ा वो है, बोला कि मेरे बीवी चाहती थी गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में ज्वाइन करने के लिए, मैं उधर लेके जाना था, मुझे मैं बड़ा गलती कर दिया, प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल लेके गया, बहुत उसकी बात ने माना नहीं, इसलिए वो चली गई। वो करके जमीन में हाथ पैर हिला तो ये रोने लगा बच्चे जैसे ऐसे हैं, बड़ा गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर था। तो बाद में मेरे एक शिक्षा गुरु उन्होंने बोला कि देखो, अगर तुम उसको गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट किया तुमने, अगर वो मर गई उधर, तो आप क्या बोलेंगे? अरे महंगा हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट करना था, सस्ते हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट किया है, इसलिए मर गया, ऐसे बोलोगे तुम? तो कुछ भी बोलो इस दुनिया में, कुछ ना कुछ हम कारण बताकर हम रोएंगे हम। इसलिए जब हमारे निकट प्रिय कोई चले जाते हैं, तो अगर आपको लगा कि हमने लापरवाही कर दिया है, उचित समय पर नहीं भेजा है, ये हमारी ओर से सावधान रहना चाहिए। लेकिन सावधान होने के बावजूद भी जान को बचा कर रखना हमारे हाथ में नहीं है। हाँ, जैसे मैंने पिछले बार बोला कि अगर उनका समय आ चुका है शरीर छोड़ने के लिए, बस वो चले गए, आपकी ओर से और क्या हम उचित कर सकते थे? देखिए, अभी कोरोना ऐसा चीज है, कुछ लोगों को कोविड पॉजिटिव हुआ, एक आदमी को, उसको लेके गए थे। उसके बाद उसको समस्या था बहुत, ऑक्सीजन का इत्यादि सब ठीक कर दिया उसको, ठीक होकर बाहर आ गया, चलने फिरने लगा, 10 दिन के बाद अचानक मर गया वो। क्यों? कुछ ब्लड क्लॉट करके बोला। तो कोरोना से आया हुआ ब्लड क्लॉट, घर में उछलता था, फिरता था, बोलता था, सब सामान वगैरह लेके आता था, लेकिन ब्लड क्लॉट कुछ तो था हृदय में, पान मालूम नहीं। वो एक क्षण में मैसिव हार्ट अटैक आया, निकल गया वो। डॉक्टर लोगों ने बोला कि कोरोना का इफेक्ट अब तभी भी रहा, ऐसे बोले। इसलिए कोरोना हो, कुछ भी व्याधि हो, जब कोई चले गए हैं, हम सोचना चाहिए कि हे भगवान, हमारी ओर से कुछ गलती हो गया हो, लापरवाही हो गया तो अब माफ़ कर दीजिए। हम लोग कुछ दूसरे काम में व्यस्त थे, हमने हमारे कर्तव्य को सही ढंग से निभाया नहीं लगता है, आप हमें माफ़ कर दीजिए, हमारी ओर से अगर गलती हो गया तो ऐसे भगवान को प्रार्थना कर सकते हैं। और अभी तो चले गए वो, और जरूर इन्होंने ये शरीर त्याग कर चले गए, उनको दूसरा शरीर मिल जाएगा, उनको भगवान दे देंगे उनको। और आप अगर भक्त हो, आप तो आप घर में माला करते थे, भगवान का आल्टर इत्यादि है, तो अगले जन्म में भक्त के घर में ही जन्म लेंगे वो, कुछ चिंता नहीं है आपको। और और हमारी ओर से लापरवाही हुआ करके अगर आपको लगता है, तो दर्द होगा आपको बहुत मन में, बार बार सोच सोच कर आप रोएंगे, अरे हमने पिताजी को ख्याल नहीं रखा, ख्याल नहीं रखा। भाई समझ सोचना, क्योंकि ख्याल रखने के बावजूद भी लोग मर जाते हैं इस दुनिया में। जितना भी ख्याल रखा, आजकल के ज़माने में ये एक व्यक्ति बोल रहा था 10 लाख दूंगा मैं, अस्पताल में एक बेड दो, वो लोग बोल रहे हैं बेड नहीं है अभी, बेड बेड पूरे भर गए हैं, अनेक लोग ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर के बिना मर रहे हैं। ऐसे हुआ था। तो इसलिए आप समझ लेना कि आपके पिताजी के समय आ गया है, काल आ गया है, भगवान ले लिया है उनको दूसरे स्थान भेजने के लिए। इस तरह सोचकर आप उसको भूल जाना और आगे के जीवन देखना। आप पिताजी के लिए नाम ले सकते हैं, हरे कृष्ण मंत्र रोज 1-2 माला कीजिए, उनको समर्पित कीजिए, उनके भलाई के लिए। कहीं भी जाएंगे, माला का इफेक्ट उनके ऊपर पड़ेगा, भलाई होगा उनको। इस तरह के कंस्ट्रक्टिव कुछ कर सकते हैं आप, ठीक है? हो गया। श्रील प्रभुपाद की और भक्त वृंद की